Okay, so today is the 3rd of August 2025. I will be doing a weekly top-down analysis for the major Forex pairs and gold for the week ahead. Just a quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial professional. Any information in this video is purely for entertainment and educational purposes. You can find all resources linked below in the description box. Starting with AUDUSD. So here on the monthly, we can see we're coming from a very nice demand here. Previously manipulated this low as well before starting reversal. I'm getting buy signals based on this liquidity to the upside, so I do believe that we may see moves to the upside to start taking some of this liquidity that has been forming. It is also possible, this is scenario 1, it is also possible to see another move to the downside deeper into this wick previously made here, and then see reversal as well. So both scenarios are possible. Moving down to the weekly, we can see this supply area here, right in line with this trend line of the monthly as well. Definitely an area of supply. I wouldn't be looking for sales here personally. I would prefer to look for buys from this demand here. So if price comes here, I will look for buys. And similarly, I wouldn't look for sales, but if this weekly boss up like so, I would look for buys and continue to buy, because I have a story on the monthly that suggests we're going to see significant upside. So that's what I would be waiting for there. I'm more keen on the buy side. 3 days, we can see similar areas, nothing of particular note jumping out, so sort of irrelevant to me at the moment. The daily, I have this very nice daily area here that we previously picked up for a buy opportunity, and that's currently playing out at this moment. Why it's so good, you have this sweep wick of all of this liquidity that was previously built under here, so mostly taken out there. Nice manipulation, so I think we're going to see some reaction in here, potentially a higher high of this here. Again, this is all supported by the high time frame, the idea of buy. So I don't see much in the way of sell opportunities at the moment. I am more on the buy side. 4 hours, what can we see? Previous areas have been created and mitigated. Again, I think a lot of this is liquidity, very nice moves. But based on the high time frame context, I would anticipate that these areas are more likely to just be liquidity for price to continue going higher. So you do have some areas in here, this one here I would say as well. I will look for a sell here based on the 4 hours. However, I will be extremely cautious because I know my high time frame story is more strongly in favor of buy rather than sell. So let's have a look at New Zealand here. Monthly, it's not really anything of significant note. Sort of a demand area here. Again, to me, this is still building liquidity. Could easily come down again before trying to move to the upside and claim this liquidity that's being created here. So, of course, can go up from where it is at the moment as well. It's a possibility also, but this is still liquidity being created to me, so it is definitely a possibility to take this first before moving up. These are the two scenarios that I can see at the moment. Weekly, what can we see here? We have this weekly demand area here. Again, I could see price going up from here. It's a strong possibility. I could also see price sweeping this area, hence all these lows, kind of equal lows here from the side as well, before reversing. It's really going to depend on the signals we're getting from the lower time frame to time the market when to look for a buy. But this is the area I will be looking in to do so. 3 days, I don't see anything of particular note aside from the shared S&D here with the weekly. None of this is particularly significant. On the daily, again, quite similar to AUD, you had this liquidity built up under here, was swept. Majority was swept by this beautiful wick here and manipulated, and you've seen multiple buy opportunities off of this demand area. This will be my last buy opportunity off of this area now that we've swept this low, because of course we had some liquidity below this low like so. Stop losses here, swept. Now is an excellent opportunity to look for buys using the lower time frames. So I will continue to try and buy here. This has also created conditions for a trend line as well. So when we come up here, we could easily see something like this as well, which is great because it's giving you a target and supporting the idea we have of buy. So if that occurs, great. If we see boss down on the daily here, then I will be waiting for this area to look for buys. It's a bit tricky in this middle vacant area here. I will need to consult the lower time frames. If price comes into this zone here, I would prefer to use this section here to look for buys in this S&D, high time frame S&D. And the 4 hours. What can we see on the 4 hours here? We've had some crazy areas here, very strong areas, and now we are looking at a demand over here. So this zone here, we have a demand on the 4 hours that I am looking to try and buy from. I could easily see this high being taken as liquidity and this high being taken as liquidity. They're both very nice moves to the downside, and overall on my high time frames I am anticipating buys. So to me this is liquidity. To me there is no sell opportunity here, but perhaps I would be willing to look for a sell here in the event that we see price maybe not making a lower low per se, but maybe having a strong reaction or reacting to where this got manipulated. I could see that as well. So buying from here, if you get the opportunity, it may just go without you. Hard to say. Need to see on the open on Monday. And here, because we have this liquidity in front of this S&D area, I am willing to look for short-term sells in here. I wouldn't be expecting a lower low, but I would be expecting perhaps a nice reaction, order flow to order flow, something like that. So I'll be very conservative with my targets, probably targeting the next lower time frames, not 4 hours to 4 hours order flow. Euro on the monthly here. So we have this nice demand area here. Why I'm picking this over this inside candle here, this inside bar, because I quite like that you had a lot of liquidity built up here. It was swept here and then has had a massive rally and bossing this and this here. So this demand on the monthly is where I would be looking for buy opportunities from, particularly this lower area down here that was responsible for sweeping this previous liquidity. So overall I am bullish on monthly, looking for buys. Weekly, what can we see here? Nice weekly demand here. It's been swept, it's been manipulated, it's come back to the second weekly back here. Not surprised it's had a massive reaction after doing that. Just taken liquidity from here, tapped back into this very nice boss. This weekly that had a very, very nice boss. And yes, I could see it rallying, or I could see as well some sort of slow trend line creation down to this monthly area before trying to continue bullish. That's also a possibility. 3 days. 3 days here. Again, same area as the weekly. You can see pretty much the identical thing has happened. You're bullish, you've taken this liquidity here, you've tapped back into this second S&D back, essentially identical to the weekly, so nothing of note there. Daily, I can see that we've had a boss here. Now I'm anticipating this is probably going to be liquidity to continue going up, which at this stage is looking like less likely to go back to the monthly demand and more likely to just continue rallying and going bullish. So this daily supply to me is not really one you want to be selling from, more like it's one you want to be buying into, because I believe that we're going to see this manipulated. This is set conditions for a trend line. People could sell here, hence you've got a target. So I would be very, very cautious about trying to sell here. On the 4 hours, you've also had some boss here. as you can see, essentially kind of what I was saying about the daily has occurred on the 4 hours here. So you had a nice little supply here. It came back, manipulated it, bought it. You're overall bullish on the much bigger time frames, so quite tricky to sell at this stage. I'm looking for buys. So hopefully we can see this 4 hours continue and give us a nice this demand is not great at the moment. I would prefer to see this continue rallying, and then we can take a nice little 4 hours like this. So that's what I'm anticipating there. So GBPUSD on the monthly, as you can see, we are in a monthly supply here. So we haven't bought it yet, but we have seen sellers coming into the market here. And as well, we have seen sellers getting kicked out of the market as well, here and here. So despite how the monthly looks, I'm actually bullish. Why? Because I can see a strong probability that he may come for this high. This structural point is quite inviting. I think there are stop losses here. I think Composite Man can easily come here and grab the rest of this liquidity. So despite actually being bearish on the monthly, story-wise of the lower time frames and of the monthly time frame itself is adding up more on the buy side than the sell side. So let's dive into the lower time frames here. Weekly, you can see here we did manage to get a boss on the weekly, and it has been manipulated here. We did get a nice little buy order in here a couple of weeks ago. It's come back into the second weekly back, so like the protected low. It's possible that price may short-term continue lower and take out these equal lows, but it's equally as possible for price to start rallying now, because you have had manipulation of this previous S&D area right here. You do have a new weekly, which is this one here. So it's very strong possibility that we will complete the weekly to weekly order flow here, coming from this weekly and coming straight here instead of continuing going down. Both are equally as possible, but considering that I am bullish here on the weekly, this is a very nice demand because it took out this previous high here as well, which was a seller's inducement here. So you saw people selling here, and then Composite Man stepping in and finally bossing this area. This is a strong area. Overall, I'm bullish, so I'm looking for buys on the weekly. 3 days is essentially the same. I don't have anything extra of note on the 3 days, aside from it looks the same as the weekly to me. That's fine. Daily. So daily here. This is also sharing with the 1 day chart. So again, overall, I am bullish. Even on the daily, I am still overall bullish, and I would anticipate that this is liquidity. So I am going to try and look for buys. I'm hesitant to sell here. I probably would only consider selling here if this was manipulated first, and then I got my entry signal to continue the idea of sell. But overall, I'm on the buy side. We've had quite a few 4 hours. Some are mitigated, some not. So we have, even you could argue, conditions have been set for a trend line here, meaning multiple people in the market are anticipating a sell here, which means I'm anticipating that it's probably going to be liquidity and an area of manipulation. So hence why I want to buy to there. On the 4 hours S&D wise, we have, yes, a little one in here. And in the current price action, we have a demand. So this is already setting up nicely for us to try and anticipate a buy. I wouldn't really be considering any sells. This one here, if you got a manipulation of this first and then an entry signal for sell, I would consider it. I think it's a bit more trickier than trying to buy, because overall, the majority of my bias of my time frames are telling me to buy, not sell. So Tricky to sell here, not impossible, but tricky. If you did get an entry here, I would not really be expecting a lower low. I would be anticipating some sort of order flow and then reversal to continue going up. USDJPY. On the monthly here, we can see we're sandwiched between two monthly S&Ds, overall bullish, so the idea of buy is there. If we zoom in on the weekly, you can see it's essentially the same as the monthly, nothing of particular note. 3 days on the upside, identical. On the downside, I would argue identical as well, same as the weekly and monthly. So on the daily here, I'm getting signs that price may go bearish due to this liquidity creation here and the high time frame context that has occurred. So here, yes, I'm starting to see high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows. However, I have substantial liquidity created below, and I'm seeing shifts to the downside. I'm seeing bearish shifts here. So I could see price coming for this low very easily. I could see price coming for this low and all this through here as well. So I have more reasons to the downside than I do to the upside. So I am more on the sell side for JPY. Moving to the 4 hours, again, that idea of sell is backed up again. So here you're having a nice shift of momentum on the 4 hours as well. This is also a daily. Taking out the protected low here, fully shifting momentum to the downside. If we see price return here, I would try to look for sells in anticipation of greater movement to the downside. If price continues to fall, I anticipate we might see some reaction in this area here, possibly this area here. In both cases, I would try to look for sells to the downside as well, based on our higher time frame context and liquidity story. I could see price moving further to the downside, and this is an incredibly impulsive move. This was over 200 pips, I think. Yeah, over 350. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So it's very bearish to me at this stage. So I am anticipating movement to the downside to continue. Last but not least, gold. On the monthly, we have a very strong impulse move. This is all-time highs. Weekly, you can see as well, very strong move to the upside. We've struggled to continue going higher, so I could see this going either way. I see price retracing. If it comes back in here, I would consider to buy. If price breaks to the upside, I will also keep buying. I would not be selling on gold at the moment. 3 days, essentially identical to the weekly, nothing different there. Daily. On the daily here, we have this demand that is kind of already finished. I'm just getting range price action at the moment. I'm not getting, very clear bias, clear direction from the daily. To me, it's the liquidity time frame at this stage. It is creating a lot of sideways price action and could go either way based on the high time frame bias being incredibly bullish, so it could continue to rally without a problem, or it could choose to create more liquidity, take more time, come back to this weekly area here before continuation starts. So either way is very possible at this point. 4 hours, if we attack this based purely on the 4 hours, this is quite tricky to try and buy from. 1, it may not return there. 2, you could take the whole area like this. It may not come back. So I wouldn't hang my hopes and dreams on this one. But if it does come back, I would consider looking for buys. If it just continues to rally, I will continue buying the 4 hours S&Ds that are created if they end up mitigating at all. Because gold is usually a little bit stingy when it comes to mitigation when he really wants to move. So we'll keep an eye on gold this week, but I don't really see anything at the moment. I will need to see how gold moves during the week, and if I am to take trades, they will most likely be buys off of the 4 hours, because overall I think I have more in support of the idea of buy then sell. So at this stage, to me, this is unlikely. I'm looking for fresh bosses and fresh demands that I can continue to buy from. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. If you found any value in it, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It's greatly appreciated, and I'll see you all next week for another top-down analysis.